We have a church member who's in the hospital, and unfortunately most people can't go and visit him because the hospital's locked down. COVID has shut everything down. But fortunately for me, ministers are considered part of the care team, and so I'm still allowed to go. But for me to get in the hospital, I have to go through a bunch of steps, and I've got to go through a screening process to make sure I'm not sick, and I've got to tell them who I'm visiting. There's a bunch of rules, is what I'm trying to tell you. So last Sunday, I went over to the hospital, and as I walked up to the door and pushed the button, the lady behind the desk asked me what I wanted, and I told her I was coming in to visit. And so she let me in, and I went up to the desk, and she asked me all the screening questions. Are you sick? Do you have a runny nose? Have you been near anyone who has COVID? Have you been tested for COVID? Have you been traveling? She went through the whole list. And then at the end, she smiled at me and said, I had to ask you those questions. I didn't think you would come here if you were sick. Now, I didn't think much about it at the time. I took the piece of paper she gave me. I went upstairs. I visited the people I was visiting. I left again. But when I got out to my truck again, it struck me how nice that was. You know, lots of times when people are screening you and they're trying to keep you out. But here this lady says to me, I didn't think you would show up if you were sick. In other words, she said, I trust you. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. I'm thinking the best of you instead of the worst. How much better would things be if we did that consistently, if we thought the best of people instead of the worst? Sarah gave me a book years ago called The 100 Habits of Happy People, and every day I read one of them. I've read through the book many times, and every day I remind myself of one thing a happy person does. And one of the things that a happy person does, based on studies that say what makes people happy, is when they don't know, they guess positively. In other words, if I'm wondering about your motives, I guess positively. I'm wondering if you like me or not, I guess positively. I'm wondering if you've got something against me or not. I don't guess that you do, I guess positively. Happy people guess positive results. And so I thought about this with this lady, because she looked at me and said, I'm guessing positively. I'm guessing you wouldn't have come if you were sick. It was just such a little thing, but it was such a beautiful gesture. Can we go through the coming week and the coming days? Can we go through looking for the good in others? Can we go through guessing the best of them until they show us that we weren't right? Can we make our first step the one that says, things probably aren't as bad as they look? Can we stop looking for the bad? Can we stop dwelling on the things that are wrong? Can we find the good things to rejoice in? Can we make each other's walk a little bit easier instead of a little bit harder? In Philippians chapter 4, verse 5, the Apostle Paul says, let your gentleness be evident to all. We would have a better world if we started every morning by saying, I'm going to show gentleness to people today. I'm going to guess positively. If you like this video, find it helpful, pass it on to others who you might think would find it helpful, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future videos. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.